a little bit about what's like being a junior. So one of our things, like we both kind of advice for juniors was, play other sports, so you develop more skills. But what other advice would you have for someone that wants to be in your position in a few years? If they're a junior, I don't know, high
Okay.
school, before that, whatever. What would you say to them?
I mean, as much as you possibly can, do other sports for sure. But then I would recommend, don't be afraid to get in the weight room and lift and get strong. Um, and there's kind of something, and I had it a little bit too growing up, where um, you think you can maybe be a little bit scary to put weight on a bar, right? Oh, I'm going to get hurt. Well, if you do it wrong, you probably will. But it's extremely important to be strong and have, the muscles in the body needed for the workload that golf is. Um, so that's like number one, right? Because you can practice as hard as you want, but if you're always getting hurt from over swinging, you're not going to make it anywhere. Number two, prioritize your short game. You can't be good enough at that. You just have a ton of fun with short game, right? Like there should be certain aspects of practice that are kind of detailed and more specific. But especially if you're younger than high school, really just have fun when you're practicing. Don't make it too serious. You have the rest of your life to be serious, and as you get older, things get more serious anyways. So
Hmm.
just be and just enjoy the joy of the game, I would say is big.
I could tell that with you because when you were here in Oklahoma doing, was it the second round at Q School?
Yeah.
And I got to come out there, and my wife and I were walking around with you, and even you were still, you're in the grind mode, right? Like you were trying hard to play your best, and you even like made a little joke. You were hitting out of the rough, and you're like, "Hey, can we do some exercise like after you hit it out of the rough?" Like even like that was a bit, that's a big tournament for you, and you were still, not taking it too seriously. You turned around and, like, made a joke with me, so that's definitely some
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for people to think they are, try to be more serious than they are and treat things bigger than they actually are, right? Um, I mean, a golf tournament, it was Q school. Obviously, want to play well, but if you go into a big event and you try to be someone you aren't, you're gonna just lead yourself to more disaster. So, always trying to be true to yourself, genuine to what your personality is, right? Like,
Hmm.
I'm a pretty light and easy guy. When I compete, I'm a little bit more serious, but even still, not, I'm not like a hyper focused tiger mentality kind of guy.
I don't think anyone is. I'm sure. So before we got a couple questions, I want to ask you about some things you said. I heard something
Yep.
really cool this morning. So I only train one person physically in person, and you're one of the select few that I actually do one-on-one programming with.
Okay.
But he brought up this thing that his daughter is doing. She's 6 years old, I believe, 6 or 7. She's young,
Okay.
and at their club, they're calling it, what they call it, something 36,
Operation
and
36.
Operation 30. You heard of this?
Yeah.
Obviously, it is so cool. He said so they're starting them at 25 yards. It's
Yep.
9 holes, 25 yards, 4 shots. So it's 36. 9 times 4, 36.
Yep.
Um, and then once they break that at 25 yards, they move them back to 50, and so on and so forth. And I was like, that is the coolest way to get kids into golf, and probably the best way. We don't want to just start cranking away on the driver, right? We was it Harvey Pinnock that said work from the whole back or something like that. So
Yeah, it was someone like that. Yeah, and I definitely didn't. I didn't do that. I
right,
grabbed my driver and tried to hit it as far as I could,
me
because
too.
that's what's fun, right?
Yeah.
No, Operation 36 is awesome. I think if you have a junior that's showing some interest in playing golf, Operation 36 is an awesome way to get them into it because it teaches them the game, teaches them how to score, and from what I've heard, I've never been around it, but from what I've heard, it's like it's fun. There's a bunch of other juniors doing the same thing. Nobody takes it too serious, which I think is really big. Um,
Hmm.
as
Yeah.
7 to 12-year-old kids. I mean, it doesn't need to be that serious.